All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Labs patch notes reading. And today we have a lot to talk about. And as we all know, we got the announcement that Landed a Morning Light 2, basically, is coming out September 12th for NA and EU, so that's pretty exciting news. I tried not to spoil myself for all the content. I know that Korea has stuff already, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's the highlight. But this is the Global Labs patch notes. If you guys want to read it, I'll leave a link in the description. This is Google translated, so from Korean to English. I'll try to make it make sense. And yeah, so we have a lot of class changes and then character changes and then some content coming out, new bosses. I kind of skimmed the patch notes, but I didn't actually read it. So that's what we're going to be doing now. So today is August 23, and we got some character changes. Admittedly, I only know a few of the classes, so if I skip the class you play, I apologize. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can read it yourself. But yeah, so one of the classes, or the affected the classes for 200% Black Spirit Rage, Warrior, Ranger, Sork, Zerker, Tamer, I think, Valk, Witch, Wizard, I think that's Maewa, Kuno, DK. I'm gonna read that one, that's for sure. Brawler is probably Striker, Mystic, Lawn, Guardian, so like basically everything almost. So originally we planned to release this revamp sooner, but considering that the skill 200% BSR will be used in various situations in the future, optimization was needed, so they're basically gonna change to 200%. I think that's fair. Like 200% are supposed to be special, and then for some classes they don't really do anything, whereas some classes, like their 200% is like extremely strong, and then the rest of us, it doesn't do so much. But either way, I hope that they actually put in some thought and effort into the revamp in the future, so that's good. Along with the revamp, the damage of the skills has been 200s has been adjusted. The legendary giant, which was overwhelmingly powerful in PvP. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, we've known this. Zerk 200, kind of good, has been nerfed, and the damage of the other classes has been adjusted to reduce the deviation. You know, whenever PA does balance changes with numbers, no one really knows what that means, because their balance changes recently have not been it. PvE damage has been significantly increased for all classes. That's good. Have you guys ever seen a Dark Knight 100 and it does like no damage? Yeah, in PvE. Yeah, me too. All right, so in addition, the speed reduction debuff has been changed to not be applied while the skill is being used, and the cooldown has been adjusted from 30 minutes to 20 minutes. I get that 200% are supposed to be powerful and everything, and like it's very hard to get 200 without getting fully fed by other people, but I think 20 minutes is still kind of high. Maybe make it a 10-minute thing, because when you're using it, mostly you're using it in large-scale PvP, or even, I guess, some node wars. But the way node wars are currently, at least here on NA, wars don't really last that long. So it's like, maybe you get in one, maybe two, but then, yeah, I think it should, if you wanted to do some big strategy plays, you should reduce this cooldown from like 20 to like 10, maybe not even that. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out in the future. So today's patch brings an overhaul to the Black Spirit's 200% skill for all the classes, or several classes. That's a lot of classes. Alongside, we've also adjusted the output for the Black Spirit 200 across the classes in PvP. And yeah, let's see. So Wrath of the Black Spirit to 200%. Damage has been adjusted to damage other than Inheritance of the Awakening. So basically, if you use a skill with a 200 versus consuming, and then maybe they added some other skill for that. So admittedly, me going over certain classes and not knowing what it actually means is probably not helpful. So Let me look at the ones that I do know. So I kind of want to just look at Dark Knight in particular. Dark Knight. Is this a watchable video? $18,000 times 3, or a 3 hit. If you get hit by all of them, it's 20,000 times 6. 100%. I assume that means crit. I don't know what these two numbers are. Interesting. We're just gonna have to see. You know what, the whole DR patch that happened a few months ago, will this even do damage? I have no idea. Oh, I guess this tells you what it is. That's a lot of numbers. Okay, I kind of want to read the Zerker changes, because we all know Zerkers were kind of on the top before, what they always have been. All right, but let's see what the changes actually are. I think a lot of people have been talking about this just across the board. If you looked at the Seoul leaderboards, and then there were like 23 out of 100 in the top 100, that's kind of wild. All right, so today's patch nerfed the Zerker. There were nerfs a few weeks ago in the patch, but there were still some parts that were not taken into account in the patch at this time. What I'm talking about, PA balance team not doing it. So it's currently showing too much power. Zerk has always been at the top for like 8, or how long has this game been out? 8 years? Yeah. People who say Zerkers were just okay, I think you're just playing the game wrong, straight up. In the last patch, the overall sustainability of the Zerker has been reduced, but the defense judgment was adjusted so that it could be used to fight through super armor. Yeah, yep, we all know what this means. It was able to endure more firmly than intended, and compared to the vast majority of other classes, there was no stamina limit on movement skills, which made the problem worse. Yep. You ever see Zerkers do mouse movements, and then they have that like ability to just regen stamina when you're like canceling stuff? I think that's what they're talking about. So yeah, no stamina limit, HP passives, which make them tanky, and they could just fly infinitely. It's kind of wild. So in today's patch, we wanted to reduce the excessive freedom in movement. Yeah, they mean mouse movement. And like, you know how when you do the fly thingy and you could just like curve in a 90-degree angle? Yeah, I don't think they want that. Which I considered the biggest problems: tankiness and movement. I kind of agree. I don't think the HP passive really helps, and the whole DR bonus really helps anything. The effect of the skill River of Terror, I don't think that's the English name, which gave an increase in defense, was changed to a 30 increase for 10 seconds. Lava Piercer and River Predator, Predatory Hunt, I think. I don't know Zerker enough, but I know some of the names. Were changed to consume stamina. Before I go in any further, when they say consume or change stamina, I assume they mean up. But how much? Like, is it just like, oh, we increased the stamina cost by like 1% and that doesn't do anything? Bro, they really have to tweak that. Alright, so with today's patch, Suck Zerker has been nerfed. They said it, boys. Although we have made some adjustments a few weeks ago, we missed certain aspects that resulted in Zerker being stronger than intended. Didn't they just say that? Like, isn't this in the first 2 paragraphs and they said it again? Why? Okay, whatever. Okay. The Black Spirit River, Rush of Thunder. I don't think these are the English names. Change that is not affected by attack and cast speed and decreases when using skills. Cool. Following terminology demonstrations have been modified to better match the actual effect. I assume that means, you know, the little like thing that helps you, like the new players, where you watch the animation and it shows you like what it does and how it works. I assume that's what they mean. All defense increases from Reign of Terror skills have been changed from 40 to 20 seconds to 30 to 10 seconds. So, like, when you use those abilities, you get a defensive bonus, and then they change it from 30 to 10, which basically means the defensive drops off faster. I assume that's my understanding of it. The activation conditions of the following skills have been changed from consuming Fighting Spirit to consuming Stamina. Lava Piercer, I believe that's the English name, and Predatory Hunt consumes 250. Is that a lot? I don't play Zerker enough to know. Is 250 stamina a lot? I don't think so. Hold on, let me actually check something. All right, so this isn't a Zerker, but let me just see how much stamina do I even have. Stamina, you have about I have about 3,000 on a Dark Knight. Interesting. So what does that translate to in Zerker terms? Like 10%? Stamina consumption of the following skills have been changed. Shake from 200 to 100. Is this enough? Like, I'm curious for all you Zerker mains or anyone else that knows the class well. Is like roughly 10% of your stamina a lot for this? I'm not sure. All right, so admittedly, I don't really know a lot of these other classes. Let's look at Dark Knight, because I do actually know that. Black Spirit, Seed of Disaster. One of your, I think, yeah, I know what the skill is, but not the one it is in English. But change that so that it's not affected by attack and cast speed, and increases and decreases when using skills. The basic movement speed is adjusted accordingly. Attack range increased. I thought it was going to be a damage increase, but like if range is all that got boosted, sure. All right, so let's get into the content now. This is the Black Temple, which is the Black Shrine, your weekly Land of the Morning Light bosses, essentially. So Black Temple 2, which is Land of the Morning Light 2, Seoul edition, which is coming out September 12th. There's basically going to be new bosses. And so we all know, or we will know, Land of the Morning Light 2, the Black Shrine, will use your own gear instead of using those like orbs for damage and buffs. So I think what they're going to be doing is, for the newer bosses, all your gear actually matters, which I think is a good thing and what should have been like brought to the bosses from the start. So the different color orbs that you use are utilized differently. If you use the sun, is advantageous for quick subjugation, I assume like speed runs, and then you can use it for rankings, and the more moons you have are more defensive. So right now the way it works is, let me show you in game actually. Okay, so you know the auras, right? You know how these give you a buff based on the color of the boss tier you're doing. I think what they're going to be doing for a change is like red will be more offensive, whereas blue would be more defensive. So I think they're going to change how this entire thing works. This is my understanding. So instead of having colors for each boss, they're going to make it all the same, but like you get to use, like, do you want all of these instead? So like I think they're going to be changing how the boss colors work, but each color would give different stats essentially. So like speed runs versus defensive, which I hope they test it, because right now the only thing you should be doing is putting everything into offense, and like there's no need for defensive. If you know how to not get hit, you're good, or if you have gear, then it should be ideally okay. So yeah, I don't know. They're gonna change it to like defensive, offensive for leaderboard stuff, which if leaderboards are the things, it's who can kill it the fastest. Obviously you want more offense, and that's straight up it. Depending on the number of Earth attributes, the number of adventures you select will increase. Or okay, so this is like utility, the green one, utility. Difficulty is classified into a normal challenge, which default as 300 and 330 for like hard mode. The difficulty of this gimmick is not too difficult to Ataraxian Elvia, so if you can do the dungeons, the Ataraxian dungeons on Elvia difficulty, should be the same. I can do them all in Elvia. Like, I don't think the dungeons were particularly hard. It's more just like a group strategy kind of thing. So if you've ever done the dungeons on the hard mode, I have videos of that too. But it's not so much damage. Well, it is, but it's more like group coordination more than anything, which I think is a good thing overall. I should make that clear. Each of the 4 bosses has his own unique like charm, so I hope that you enjoy the different kinds of battles. If you've already watched the Korean players and streamers do it, it's probably already spoiled for you. But with that said, let's see. Dude, what is happening? They literally just said the same thing in these paragraphs as the exact same thing. Why are they doing that twice? Okay, anyway. So let's see, the new bosses. Content that allows you to challenge the leader of the Land of the Morning Light through a party, the Black Shrine, has been added. Party bosses. Earthworm, Blue-Haired Boy, Immortal, Nuturi. They could have named it anything from the lore and they chose this. Okay. So interesting. The unquenchable pillar of fire consumes everything. I know this is just Google translated from, Global Labs notes, but literally all the names they could have chose and they chose this. Bro, his hair isn't even blue though. All right, anyway. When entering the Black Temple, each party member can participate in the battle with one of the sun, moon, earth energies. So like, listen, this is how I assume it's going to be for like leaderboard pushes and speedruns. Everyone goes offense. Straight up. That's it. So red aura is the more you have is better for quick subjugation. I assume it means more offensive abilities. Moon aura is more defensive, which literally just don't get hit. Get more gear. Don't hit. Don't get hit. Don't die. And the spirit of the earth is utility. For more times you can revive or retry. Just don't die. And then this is literally not a problem. So I say that as partially a meme and a joke, but like in real seriousness, the more you practice, this is really the only one you need. I assume people are going to use these two just to like learn to fight, practice it, and then like leaderboard, this is all that matters. Like even on day one, most likely this is all that matters. But anyway, party entry, appropriate AP 300, challenge mode, hard mode, Elvia difficulty 330. That's actually pretty like steep because right now, let me show you in game. Oh, let me actually put on some real gear first. If you want to do 330, you really need pen debos, and then like I assume this is more meant for people who have sovereign weapons. Like, sovereign is going to be a boost to your Black Star, or like it's a new weapon but it goes beyond Black Star in the future. So like I assume most people are going to be like between 340, 360 when sovereign weapons come out. So that's where it's more appropriate. But as of right now, assuming you have full pen debos, you're going to be at like 336 and like mid 330s ish. So yeah, I assume that's going to be pretty difficult for people in the future until sovereign weapons come out. Okay. Weekly raid loot. I never thought I'd hear like dungeons and like bosses be considered raids in BDO compared to like traditional MMOs. Loot is guaranteed. One piece of this thingy, I assume these are used for like upgrading sovereign weapons or new pieces in the future. Light stones, memfrags, those more light stones, Capris, black stones, and I don't know what these are. Loot by RNG. We don't know what these are yet. Dehkia accessories and the new these two things are the new, like, you know, the Tayback belt we have. They're coming out with a new, like, similar to Tayback, but for other pieces. Refinement stones. I think they're just like crystals, essentially, right? Yeah, I think these are all just crystals in refinement stone terms. Yeah, that looks like they're all the same, except... Yeah, they're all the same. Okay. So, I think realistically what people are going to want are these tiers for upgrading your gear. Because at least here on NA, Dehkias, you can actually just straight up buy pen off the market now. Okay, proof of subjugation, so basically rewards for defeating the bosses. You get titles for completing them. I think that's cool. Titles are always a contested thing. Everyone wants the cool stuff. Loot according to rank when challenging the guild. When a party of 5 that belongs to the same guild successfully completes the boss, rewards will be given to all guild members based on the recorded rankings. So it's like guild ranks. That's instead of just individuals, guild ranks, and then party. I think that's cool. Interesting. I don't know if that helps guilds in general, because you guys know that at least here on NA and I guess maybe a little bit on EU, a lot of the guilds are kind of falling apart because of the PvP changes. So I wonder if there's going to be new guilds specifically for boss blitzing. But I don't know, like, is it worth finding a new guild specifically for that? Who knows? I think, like, is it a good thing? I'm not sure. All right, depending on the recorded ranking, first to 6 will get all of these. Let's see what the rewards are. Light stone of shining fire, red, blue, green, or like earth crystals. So the top rewards, you get 20 whole black stones, 10 Capra stones, and 5 memory fragments for getting first place. Holy, that's wild. Who is in charge of the loot on this? Oh my goodness, who's in charge of the loot? What are you doing? People are going to practice countless hours for 5 mem frags. Bruh. You need to like multiply that by 100, and then this might actually be worth something. Are they scared of people having too much like currency in this game? Like, if you're getting first place of all the people on your server and you get 5 mem frags, that's wild. I don't know what these are exactly, but I hope they're good. And then, like, I assume these are what's going to be the important things, the cool fragments. I don't know what they are yet. The higher the rank of the raid, the higher probability of obtaining the items. Dehkias. Oh no, bro. Oh no. Oh, Tears of Defeat. Are these the big circle 5 mil crystals? Like the Girin, the Heite one, the purple, and then the red? Are they like making a... Oh. Uh-oh. In the case of a normal difficulty, rank 1st to 50 will be awarded spoils of the 9th rank. 2 Capra stones, 2 memory fragments. Bro, I just want to say before this hits live, if anyone from Pearl Abyss is watching this, more specifically, if you're in charge of the loot on the team, multiply this by 100, and then it will be worth doing. All right, the Black Shrine is based on characters within the guild. Why is it guild only? Like, I understand there's guild leaderboards, but like, what if you just want to play it with your friends? They should... Okay, whatever. I don't know. Number of boss subjugations is 4 times per week per guild, and the number is deducted according to the difficulty of the boss. What? So you can only do it 4 times a week as a group, but it changes based on the difficulty. So if you can't just spam high tier bosses if your guild can do it. That's wild. Okay. Guild League regular season. Oh, Guild League is back. I'm gonna be honest, they have cycled through so many things. Like, they have Arena of Solaire for a season, and then they have Guild League for a season, and then they have like all the other random stuff. All right, the regular season of Guild League has begun. You know, I actually enjoyed Guild League. I think it's fun. Like, it's unique. It builds team building for guilds, but I wish it was like a permanent thing more than some others, but it is what it is. So basically what this is they're actually resetting MMR or something like that. We're making a change to MMR system. The reward has been greatly increased so that it could be more meaningful content for guilds and individuals, especially for guild rewards that want to give guilds 1st to 3rd a solid honor by 400 billion won. I assume that means silver, along with colored titles and additional goods. So here's the thing. When you get colored titles, unless it's permanent, it's just kind of like, oh, cool. So, cool. They're increasing guild silver. Okay, let's see. While preparing the new look for Solaire Spear in particular, we received many opinions that the last Solaire Spear is only available for a month. We will develop further. So basically, you know how what I just said about limited titles and outfits? Yeah, you kind of have to keep them permanent or something longer than that for it to be any meaningful. What other text are we reading? Dude, I don't know why they post it. This is literally the same thing twice. Just like trying to meet a word quota or something. Okay, so this is what matters. When is it starting? August 28th. That's next week. Ending, or before regular maintenance on Wednesday, November 13th. So that's like two and a half months of Guild League. Not bad. Number of participants minimum 7. Really? Is it 7 to 10? Huh. Interesting. Why is it only 10? Isn't it? I guess like they have to factor in that not everyone can make the Guild League, but it's like 7 to 10 people seems like kind of low. But again, I don't know. What is it like for all the bigger guilds? Per match? That just seems kind of odd. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So my experience with Guild League in the past is there have been a lot of cheesy plays, let's just say, and sketch things going on. I hope they add more. Like, the time limit is fine, but having people run down the timer by doing weird stuff is not fun. So I hope they can, like, you know, add some sort of incentive to speed things up instead of dragging a 20-minute match out every time, is what I've seen. You can freely enter and leave the Guild League after the match starts. What? Why? A freely enter should be fine. Why leave, though? Like, that's just inting. They should have something kind of like RBF, where if you idle or, you know, just like move back and forth without making any sort of damage, it should just kick you out, like, straight up. And then if you can freely enter and leave, that like negates the entire thing. So I think people should be penalized for doing like stupid things and griefing. Straight up. That's how I see it. Okay, and then other things. If you accumulate 3 or more penalties, you'll be unable to participate for 1 week. If you leave during the Guild League, any guild member can re-enter. If you leave, any damage abnormal status will be reset. Yeah. So they didn't really talk about too much of a penalty for, like, you know, like sitting in base and everything. We'll just have to see. Guild League Battlegrounds, the thing near Heidel. Thing where you gather feathers. Navern Step. RBF. Field of Honor. Desert. This is new, isn't it? It just reminds me of that. What is that one Arena of Solaire with the big orb that like does huge ring in the center that like nukes people? Yeah, it just reminds me of that. Whoever played this Zerker, that's 1 in 11. You ain't it. I'm just saying. Okay. MMR ranking. Cool. We'll just see how that works in the future. AFK penalty. Basically, ELO system. You decay if you don't play. Match ranges. This is something that's very important. ELO matching in MMR. Like matching against even geared guilds. Guild League rewards. Experience. Dude. If you're doing Guild League for XP, I feel like there are better ways to do that. 0.01 to 0.02 at 67. Oh boy. How about you just make 70 the new soft cap instead of 66? RBF. They've changed it from 10 mil to 50 mil for victories. So let's say you're a god and you win all your matches. Each match is what, like 20 minutes long? So that's 150 mil an hour plus all the bonuses. That's like, at very best, maybe 300 to 400 mil an hour. And like the reward you can only get once per day. So let's just say you play the game from start to beginning. That's like 150 mil an hour for RBF. It sounds good, but it's not. Like, realistically, people are making like 1 to 2 bill an hour on average just grinding. Hell, I think even life skillers are making more than that. Even just gathering, you can make like 500 mil plus an hour. Just gathering and selling it to the market, not processing it and going further. Icon for the new Dehkia Crescents has been changed. Improving the Dehkia's Lantern. So recently we got Dehkia Crescents. And then there's changes to like Dehkia Ash and Olens. Today's patch brings improvements to Dehkia Lantern zones. Oh, what is this? For instance, in the case of Olens, adventurers had to manipulate the damage output of the left arm Dude, that's literally the Olin's mechanic. What do you mean manipulate? That's literally the mechanic. Now, the first Olin's Golem will not trigger the left arm attack, while subsequent golems will now activate immediately upon appearing. Why are they... This is why we can't have nice things. Like, that's literally a mechanic, and they're making it weirder. Alright, whatever. New title? Oh, wait, never mind. Void just means Dehkia. Dehkia Ash. Speed reduction debuff has been removed from the Barness. Thank God. Holy, dude. So the way Dehkia, or just Ash Force across the board works is you basically, if you don't have enough AP to just nuke everything, you stack everything onto Barness and then AoE it from there. But then sometimes if you're like killing other things and you leave the Barness alone, it'll put a debuff on you, which is a speed debuff. And now that they removed it from Dehkia 2, that's huge. Especially since this is a very high AP spot. Okay. Requests and knowledge, new titles, new story. Cool. So this is coming out September 12th, at least on NA and EU. You can check the credits. So basically, for all the people who like watching cutscenes, press G once to play at 5x speed. We just hold R, but okay. And then basically quality of life changes. But that's actually a nice picture. And then a lot of quality of life changes and bug fixes. So anyway, that has been today's patch notes. It's been a long reading, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, I think overall, it seems like a step in the right direction. I'm kind of excited for the whole boss changes. So yeah, with that said, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And I got some guides that are in the works and some updating that I have to do for some of my older guides. And if you're new, I'll see you guys later. Peace.